Hello and welcome to another video podcast focusing on people working within the entertainment industry. My name is James and I'm a photographer and videographer from Greater Manchester here in the UK. My guest today is the incredibly talented and creative Samuel Evanson. Samuel is an actor, director, producer, screenwriter and filmmaker. He is also a singer and songwriter. His latest single, She Was Blind, is out now. Samuel and his close friend Andrew Williams founded Red Television in 2022. Located in Liverpool, they are producing high-end television shows with some of the best talent in the industry. We also chat about his starring role in the hit sitcom Joey's, which follows the lives of a dysfunctional family set in Liverpool. Samuel is currently directing a television thriller series called The Beginning, in which a deadly virus is sweeping around the world, zombifying humans, but with a strange, dark twist. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel for more entertainment video podcasts. So let's jump straight into the podcast. Hello, Samuel.
Hi.
That intro was great. It told us quite a bit about you, but could you just go into a little bit more detail about who Samuel is and where he's come from, etc.?
I'm from Wales originally, North Wales. I grew up in Chester most of my life, to be honest. So that's just over the border, but all my nights out and stuff are always there. I started singing at a young age. To be honest, I haven't done it for a few years because I've focused more on the acting side of my career because I love music, but I just didn't seem to be getting anywhere. So I sort of put that on pause and decided to go down a different route, acting, which I loved. And then through acting, I got a few good jobs and I ended up doing a TV series and playing the main character in that. And then I got a chance at directing and I love that as well. So I'm doing that at the minute. But I also directed 7 episodes of a TV series that came out in September last year as well. So yeah, there's loads going on and I'm just fingers in a lot of pies, I think.
That's right, because you're an actor, a singer, a writer, director, producer. What else do you do? Or is that enough?
What don't I do, to be honest? I do everything. I don't know. There is probably something I've forgotten, but yeah.
So when was it you first thought, right, I'm going to work in the entertainment industry? When did that come?
I've always loved the entertainment industry since I was a kid. I've always, you know what, when I was about 4 years old, I got up on stage and sung Happy Birthday to someone I didn't even I didn't even know. It was on holiday in Spain. My dad's got a video of it, actually. And it's just, that's the first time I've ever been on stage. And since then, it can't keep me off it.
Are you going to send us a clip of that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So what is it you like about entertaining people?
I just like making people smile. I like giving people something, because the world's not a happy place sometimes, is it? And I like giving people that, that break from real life sometimes.
We all have a role to fill, and yours is to put a smile on people's faces.
Yeah, I do try.
And that's what you enjoy most about it?
Yeah, definitely.
So what's the hardest part of being an actor? Or, in fact, let's start with, which do you prefer? Do you prefer being an actor, a singer, a writer? Which is your...
I love writing because you can create your own world and you can create a place where a lot of people go back to. So, people have comfort shows, don't they? Like, I know a lot of people that I know is like Miranda, Mrs. Brown's Boys, things like that. And a lot of people have a comfort show that they keep referring back to. And I wanted to create that type of thing because there's nothing like that anymore that I don't think, because Mrs. Brown's Boy is always the same. It's always the same every year and it's not, and Miranda was good and that stopped years ago. I think that was 2015, something like that. It stopped. But I just wanted to create something with that nostalgic comedy feel. But if I had to pick one of them, it is difficult. Probably acting.
So are you sort of like saying you get something different from all of them?
Yeah, I do get something different from all of them. But if I had to pick one, I'd probably acting because I can do a bit of singing in my acting as well, like I did in Joey's, Yeah.
So that's okay. That's allowing me to dive deeper into that. What's the hardest part about being an actor?
The hours, probably. The hours you spend on set. Sometimes you can have a 14, 15-hour day, can't you? And you've got makeup on. Then after your 15-hour shoot, you've got to go to makeup and get your makeup off. And then, you could be there for 17, 18 hours sometimes. And it's a long, hard day. And it is draining, remembering the same thing over and over and over again. And sometimes you only film a minute of something and it takes, 3 or 4 days to film that minute. It's just, but I love it.
So what are you doing in the downtime then? Are you practicing lines?
Usually, or sleeping, having a brew, eating. Yeah.
having a laugh with everyone else.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've touched on the acting there and the downtime. Can you tell us a little bit about Red Television?
Yeah, so Red Television is a production company based in the Northwest. We've just sort of got into high-end TV and stuff like that, but we're also doing music videos, stuff, and entertainment stuff. It's not just necessarily television. It's all kinds of stuff. We're working on a short film at the minute. It's just a group of people who love this industry, and we've got a lot of college students and stuff and uni students that work with us. And they love it. They keep coming back. So obviously we're doing something right.
So what's your role within Red?
So I'm the CEO of Red Television. But
so that's another thing you've got to put down. So it's an actor, singer, and a businessman.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I suppose I don't do much of the business side, to be honest. But yeah, I thought I'd create my own, because it's so difficult to get into somebody else's production company, especially if you haven't got the right credits or you don't know enough people, because it is this industry, as you know, it's very who you know, isn't it? You know, the jobs you get, and everyone, like Netflix, they'll only work with a certain amount of production companies, and so do the BBC. They only work with, same as ITV. All the big studios use their own production companies, sort of that under the umbrella of them, if that makes sense. So I just thought, instead of getting into one of them, I'd make my own and get people who can't get into them that are just as talented as anybody else, because my crew are all very, very talented at what they do. And I'm proud of them all. They've done me proud. So
Red is something you set up yourself, or did you do it in conjunction with anyone else?
Yeah, so I set it up myself about 4 years ago. Then we worked on a show, well, the original Joey's Christmas. It was just a pilot. And there was 5 of us, I think, at the start. That ran Red TV. But I started it on my own, and then people just sort of jumped on board. And
so who's the team at Red?
So the team at the minute is me and Andrew. My crew are Lawrence, Martin. He is the DOP, Director of Photography. I've got Adam Lowton, he's the camera operator. Owen Pennington, he is sound. Tom Richardson, Libby Reeves. Have I missed anyone there? Oh, obviously Andrew Williams. He's the director.
There will be someone you'll upset.
Oh, don't. I know, there will be.
There'll be tears.
Amber McGill. She is my focus puller, and she is absolutely brilliant.
Hello, Amber.
Yes, sorry, I nearly forgot you there. It's because she's new. She's only done 2 shoots with us, so I'm just trying to get used to everyone. I think that's the base team of everyone we have on the productions. But we've got people like Zara Abram. She's makeup, but she's not necessarily with us. She's just sort of working with us.
So you work with freelancers, or are they?
Yeah, so some of the times that we get freelancers on, like catering, we always get freelancers in. It's just usually someone we know or someone that will do it for us, or we get a company in sometimes if it's a big shoot. But yeah, most of the time it's just freelance people. But all the production staff, all the production crew, like the camera operators and the sound operators, they're all in-house from us. But it's just stuff like the makeup artists. Usually that's...
So I asked you before about which you enjoyed, singing or acting. What about when it comes to the business of doing a production company?
Yeah, it's hard trying to get your stuff out there and promoted, and because you've got to spend the money yourself. And that's the thing, when you've got your own production company, you haven't got the budget of Netflix or Sky or ITV. You've got to do it from your own pocket. So everything on here has been funded out of my own pocket. Yeah, some people have helped me along the way. I've had investors and stuff like that, but the base of it is come from my wage, which is, but I wouldn't put a penny elsewhere because I love doing it.
Okay. So is Joey's part of Red TV? Yeah,
so Joey's was the first major production with Red Television.
Tell us a bit about Joey's then.
So it's a comedy drama series. It's more comedy than drama, but it's about a family from Liverpool, and they're all just a little bit mad. It's very real.
So is it like The Royals?
Kind of. It's like Gavin and Stacey crossed with Shameless. That's how it's been described in the Liverpool Echo and stuff like that. But yeah, that's our most successful production, and it was good. I loved it. The pilot's a little bit shabby, but again, we were all learning. But as the series goes on, it gets better and better and better and better.
We are our own worst critics. We're more 100%. Critical than anyone else. And where can people see this?
So vimeo.com/ondemand/Joey's. That's how you can watch online. If you go on redtv.uk as well, it might have a link, or it'll tell you where to watch it.
I will put all the links below so that people, the viewers and the listeners can click onto that.
Yeah.
Is that yourself there?
Yes, in this I played Joey, yes. Because obviously at the time when it started, the production company really wasn't established. It wasn't a registered company then. It was just something we called ourselves, a little group, because I thought there's no point registering a company if we're not making any money, if we're not doing big productions. Halfway through, you thought, oh shit, I better register this now because it's getting a little bit big. And yeah, the last 6 months of Joey's, it just took off. And a lot of people got interested and a lot of people wanted to be part of it. But at the start, we had no one. It was just a few of us that started it. And then, so that's why I was the main character, because I was from the start, if that makes sense, because it was just me and a few friends that were messing about with a camera.
So we won't give too much away for all the viewers that are going to go on to watch it. Is there going to be another series?
At the minute, I'm happy with where it is. In the future, definitely there's thoughts of it. But at the minute, I don't know. Because I'm working on other projects. I want to get my music back out there. I want to get that back up and running. And, you know, it's just hard getting everyone, because everyone's so busy, and a lot of the cast are getting quite big roles now in big productions with the BBC, and you know it's finding time to do it, because you know it's the time.
So go on then. You actually touched on your singing there. So I believe you got an album coming out.
Yes, I have in May. It's called We Are Meant to Break the Rules. So the album's based around my life. I'm watching friends be hurt by love, and there's just so much in the album that just explains me as a person as well, because I don't like following the rules. I don't mean legally. I mean, you know, I quit college and, you know, all that type of stuff. I've never been an education person, and in that terms, that's why that album's. You know what? This is the first time I've actually been asked about my album, because I haven't had any interviews yet for it, so this is sort of the first time I've had to think about it.
Oh,
usually by the end, I'm sort of like, I know exactly what I'm going to say, but not a clue.
So tell us a few of the songs. I mean, the title song.
Yeah, so the single that was actually released today on the 13th is called She Was Blind. It's about me watching a friend get destroyed by love. She's blinded. This guy's cheating on her, and she's blinded by, she loves him so much, she doesn't care. And it's a story about me telling her he's bad for her and her not listening because she loves him.
So what type of genre is it? I mean,
So it's indie alternative. I've always done pop, but I sort of found what's the word? I found my muse.
So you've gone now from all the production side of making a TV series and films and that, and now you're going into another way of making production, of producing music. I mean, that's just as hard, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. But the TV stuff does come into it, because obviously I use all my crew for my music videos, and we visit some fantastic locations, and they don't take as long as a series to make, so that's a big plus.
They can be just as expensive, though, can't they?
Yeah, 100%. They can be just as expensive.
But going back to your album, I mean, where did you get your album produced?
So again, I've done it myself.
Oh, right.
So at home, I've got a home studio, so I do everything there. Yeah, it saves a lot of money. And
you are multi-talented.
I know. You should see me house. It's a mess.
So what about people, the musicians?
So again, I've got a producer. So I send him what I want, and he comes back with something, and I go, no, yes, or change this, change that. And then we sort of work together. Because he's actually from, where is it now? Switzerland, I think. Or Sweden. Might be Sweden.
So there isn't a band?
No, so he does it all separately, and then we work together over Zoom and emails. And
am I too old school here? I'm expecting a guitarist, drummers, keyboards. There's none of that.
A lot of it's electronic, but you wouldn't think. Well, it is electronic, but he's done it over there, if that makes sense. I mean, I have got a band, so when I do live gigs and stuff, I will have a band with me here. I've got me sort of touring band, but for the actual tracks, I don't need them, because we don't record it like that anymore. If that makes sense. Sorry, I don't. That sounded really patronising. Then, does it mean to make you feel old?
Well, I feel old. Don't worry about it. My family always makes me feel old. Okay, Samuel. So, is there another poignant track on the album that you'd like to tell us about?
Yeah. So, I'm very proud of this song. Actually, it's called Jade Green. The song is based on my best friend. So about 3 years ago, she was murdered by her ex-husband. She was only 27, 28. And it was a hard time. And there was a group of friends that we always used to hang around and stuff. And I do speak to them. I'm not like a fallen out or anything, but because I've moved away, I've moved from home and stuff, and I've moved to Liverpool. I don't see them very often. And I wanted this song to say bye, because I didn't feel like I got a chance to say bye, because it was such a brutal time of my life. I haven't really grieved properly because I've been working so hard on Joey's. It was while we were filming Joey's, but I just sort of threw that to one side and I focused completely on Joey's because I didn't want to think about it because it hurt me so much. But yeah, the song, I'm finally ready to talk about it. And the song's called Jade Green. So her name was actually Jade Ward. I called her Jade Green, one, because she lived on Green Lane, and that's what it was down as on my phone, because I used to be a manager in a shop years before, so that's how I knew her. So I just saved her in my phone as Jade Green because that's where she lived, and it was just a reference. And then she always used to wear green clothes and red lipstick. So it's just sort of all green, but the song it's about her, and it's sort of my goodbye, if you like, and it's a upbeat song. It's not a sad song. It's like, I don't even know what it sounds like really. It's like the Proclaimers. It sounds a bit like the Proclaimers, but it's a nice song.
When the song and when the album's released and the video comes out, will you then feel as though you've said your piece and you've said goodbye to Jade? Yeah,
in a way I will, and I feel like I can shut the book on that part of my life and just not forget about it, but put it in a box. And Jade will always be a part of me, but just put it in a box and just not think about it as much. And I feel like I've got a bit closure.
Okay, Samuel. So we've talked now about your album. Can I just go back to Red Television and Joey's?
Yeah.
What other productions are you working on? Is there anything you can tell us about? Because I understand sometimes confidentiality in that.
Okay. So there is another production I'm working on at the minute called The Beginning. So a virus sweeps the city, zombifying humans, but they have a dark twist. But I can't say what the twist is. But it's something that's never been done before. And this is what sort of pulled me into the script. And I thought, oh, that's new. So that's why I took it on, because I feel like that is, it's interesting. It is interesting. And, it's been, me and Gary are both executive producers on this project, so we're both funding it. And so far it is looking amazing. It has been the one episode has been more expensive than the whole of Joey's put together, but it's looking amazing.
Gary
Matthews, the writer of this production. He also plays the main character in it.
Okay. So you've actually touched on an interesting part there. You're such a creative person. You do everything. You do your singing, your writing, your acting. Yeah. What's it like when you've got to work with people and you've got to control yourself a little bit?
So I do
how
struggle
does Samuel
with that.
behave?
I do struggle with that, and letting go of, because I used to do everything. I used to do a bit of camera, a bit of sound, I used to just feel like, you do this, you do that, and but take over and control it myself. And I'm bad for that. I'm bad for saying, I'll just do it myself, because everyone's like, no, just Sam, I'm here to help you. I'm doing a job, so just let me do it. But I've let go recently. Since we started at the beginning, I've let go a lot, and it's hard working with the writer on a production, especially when he's in it, if that makes sense.
The film industry or the entertainment industry is a real team effort, though, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And everybody does their bit. And, the cameraman, he's absolutely brilliant. I mean, he's only 18 and he's absolutely brilliant. He's just as good as anyone that is on mainstream TV at the minute. And the sound guy, he's very good as well. I think he's 20. 19, 20. But everyone on the team is quite young, but they're all very experienced.
They all sound way too young. It's terrible.
No, they do, but they have got a lot of experience and knowledge, and a lot of them worked on Joey's as well, so they saw how because what I like doing is I like getting them on set first. Instead of having an induction and all that, I get them on set first day so they can see what they're doing. They can have a couple of days watching what we do and then have a go themselves. And then we'll sort of all point them in the right direction. But I think bringing people on fresh from uni, sometimes that can be a bad thing because they're so set in the ways of how the uni do it. And I mean, on set and photography even, it's very different to how they teach it being actually on set. And we don't do most of the things. They were like, oh, shouldn't you do this at this point? I'm like, no, you don't actually do that in real life. But yeah, they're brilliant. They're really good. They are really good.
Let's just move on a bit. Who would you like to work with in a future production? Have you got an idea of...
Like a dream person that I want to work with? Oh, God. Yeah, so there is actually 3 people that I would love to work with. Sarah Lancashire, because I loved her in Happy Valley. And I think she's just cool. Saran Jones as well. I think she'll be very interesting to work with. And my third one, Stephen Graham, because he has got a lot of knowledge. He owns his own production company. He's a bit of a me, really. He's an actor. He's a CEO. He's a businessman. I mean, I don't think he's done music. Has he done music? I don't think he's done music. But, you know, he's done so much, and I just think it'd be really interesting.
So what is it you like most about the industry? The entertainment industry as a whole?
I can tell you what I like least.
Oh, that was going to be the next question, but let's do that.
I'll tell you what I like least first.
So what is it you like least about the industry?
Actors with egos. Because a lot of people have spent a lot of time getting this production ready and getting everything set up. And then sometimes, and I've seen it, actors walk on thinking they're the big I am and it's all about them and the whole world revolves around them. And I hate that. And I don't think it's fair.
Have you not got to have an ego, though, to be an actor?
Yeah, you do. But sometimes some people take it to the extreme of being cocky about it and being me, when it's not just... to be fair, most of the time, it's not actually main cast that do that. It's a lot of the time it's, you know, featured actors, or they have bit parts, or, you know, do you know what I mean? And they do. I know what you mean about them.
Has Samuel got an ego?
I feel like I do have a bit of an ego, but I'm not up my arse, I don't think. Do you think I am, from what you've seen? I mean, obviously I'm talking about myself because it's a podcast, but I don't feel like normally I'm up my own arse.
It's a fine line, isn't it? Because as a creative and as a person with ambition and also a creative look, you've got to be able to push that. Because if you don't push it, no one else is going to.
No, and you've got to have, I think instead of an ego, you've got to have something about you. I think instead of being...
X factor.
Yeah. Instead of being, you know, it's all about me, you know, I want you to get me this or get me that. And, you know, people are kind of like, okay, get us a copper. Or I don't mind that as much, but it's just, there's been a few instances where a few things have annoyed me. And, you know, I just think there's no need to treat people like that sometimes as well. Because there's been instances where, you know, a cast has been horrible to the camera operator or something for not getting them in the best angle and stuff. And I'm like, you're not the director. You know what I mean? And the director's got a vision. And if he wants you to look like that at that particular moment, that's what you're going to look like. Do you know what I mean? It's stuff like that. I think you're here and you're paid to act. So act and don't get involved with other jobs. So if that makes sense.
Talent and charisma can take you so far, but you've still got to work as part of a team with someone.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, and I, as a director, I will happily take any advice from, or any points or any ideas anyone's got. But it's when we're in the middle of a take and I've asked them to do it a certain way and then they either refuse to do it or they just... yeah, it's hard to explain really without giving you a proper scenario, but I can't because, you know, for obvious reasons, I don't want to cause any rows. But yeah, it does happen.
Does it get heated on set?
Very rarely. Very rarely. I mean, I've never lost my temper on set, I don't think. I've been a bit fed up after, you know, an 18-hour day and we've had to pack up and, you know, we're on the way home and yeah, but not really. I don't think it's ever happened.
So, I mean, yeah, it's obviously exhausting, but do you try and keep the atmosphere up?
Yeah, 100%. And quite often we do, you know, we'll have a break and we're all knackered and I'll just put the radio on really loud and just blast some music and then we'll all get up and have a dance and then we're ready again then. And then, yeah, because that's how close I want everyone to be. I want everyone to feel comfortable in the environment they're in as well. So I don't let my crew sit down for long. I mean, if they need to, obviously, but when they're in between takes and stuff, I don't let them sit for long. I don't make them do work either, but I just don't want them sat there on their phones and I'd rather them stand with the phones, because if they sit down, they'll sort of get cozy. And a lot of the sets we're on, there's comfy sofas, and that's just how I do things.
So are they all going to be up dancing to your album now?
I hope so. Yeah, I do hope so.
So let's move on. If someone was to come up to you now and they say they wanted to work within the entertainment industry, let's just say as an actor, what advice would you give them?
As an actor, so go to an acting class. Try it. Because in my opinion, and this might sound really tight, but I think acting you've either got or you haven't. And I never thought I had it for years. But someone told me I was all right, so I gave it a go. But go to an acting class, see how you are. Sometimes it's not for you. And, some people try, and eventually they might get it. But I think you've just got to keep trying. And if you really want to do it, you will do it. I'm not saying it's not for everyone, but some people just don't have the patience for it. I think you've got to have a lot of patience to be an actor. Because, some directors are they can be twats. And I've worked on other productions. I've worked on stuff for Netflix and stuff. And there's been some twatty directors I've worked under. And, you do have to have patience and a bit of chill about you when because sometimes they do speak to you like, not great.
So how has Samuel evolved from his first acting role till now? Are you constantly learning and developing and growing?
All the time. You always are, aren't you? No matter what you do, we're always learning and we're always getting better. And I say this to the lads on every shoot, and sometimes they go, I wasn't happy with that. I was like, it's fine. You know you're not happy with that. You've acknowledged that. And that's a good thing. When you haven't done your best. And it's not an issue because we can always do it again. Or, it costs money, but it's only money, isn't it?
It's only money. So has anyone given you any advice over the years that you've thought, oh, yes, I understand, or maybe one that's perhaps been too close to the bone for you?
No, not really. I mean, people have obviously given me advice, but I don't think a lot of people, because everyone knows how I am. And on set, I can be very, right, bang, 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 you do that, and you do that, don't speak to me. for now, because I'm trying to, if I'm trying to, when I've got a script in front of me, I'm trying to plan out the shots and stuff. And if I get people going, Sam, I can't.
Because you're juggling that many balls.
Yeah, exactly. I can't do everything at once. And sometimes they're like, Sam, I'm like, right, go away. And just, and sometimes people have come up to me and said, you could have been a little bit nicer. But I don't feel like I was being horrible. I don't sometimes. And it's just me. I think I've got a resting bitch face as well sometimes. And I don't mean to be, but I just do.
So would people say you're intense?
On set, yeah, probably. But normally, no.
So you're a completely different person off set when you're relaxing?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. And even on set, I'm not intense. And no one's afraid to come up and speak to me or anything like that. I just feel like I've got everything in order, I think. It's not like an army camp or anything like that. I'm making it sound really bad now. It's not, I promise. But yeah, no, I've got everything right, I think. A right balance. Because I'm not a twat and I'm not too nice. You've got to have the right balance if you're directing something, I think.
I will put links below for people to come say something different if they wanted to.
No, don't. Turn the comments off.
No comments allowed. So what would you like to achieve in the next few years? I mean, have you got a plan? Have you got like a 5-year plan? Or?
Okay, so my 5-year plan is get the beginning done, pitch it to everyone, see if it gets picked up and we get the funding for it. If it does, then we'll work on that. If not, my album, I'm going to do my album on the side anyway. So we meant to break the rules. That comes out in May. So that's going to be then. Early 2025, maybe the end of 2024, I'm planning to take it on tour. I don't know how it's going to sell. So if I don't sell any, obviously I won't be going anywhere. But if it does all right, I'm planning, to go on tour. Only UK, not abroad or anything like that.
So are these two different aspects of your life going to run parallel to each other?
Yeah, they usually
constantly,
do.
Or?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I work with the crew. So if I go on tour, for example, my crew will come with me and they'll all be like, sound, because the sound guy can do production sound on a show. The cameraman, Adam, he can get behind the scenes shots and he can get actual footage of me performing, stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So everyone will have their own role there too. So it's not like I'm just ditching them for me singing, because I'll bring everybody along with me everywhere I go. Because I like keeping a close, tight team around that are good at what they do. And so
we've got a potential show there, haven't we?
Yeah.
Samuel on the road.
I don't think that'll be... I'd probably get arrested, to be honest, if they did that. Oh, God.
That could be quite interesting, that one.
Oh, you haven't seen it me after a few rosés.
So could you tell us something that you found difficult to achieve? Again, it can be the acting, the singing, or across the board.
Yeah. Actually getting people to listen to my music. I know, because there's so many artists out there now. There's millions of them. And, you know, anyone can upload something onto Spotify and call himself a singer. And I'm not saying that's what I'm doing. That is what I'm doing. But because there's so many, it's so hard to get it out there and get people to go, right, can you listen to me? And just, it's so difficult to get people to actually, it's easy with TV because it's all sort of, not everybody's doing it. But with music, everybody's doing it at the minute. And I think
it used to be every street had a band. And I used to complain that every street had about 5 photographers.
Yeah. But it's the same type of thing, but everybody is, you know, if you type in my name on Spotify, actually, I think I am the only one that comes up, but if you just take the N off the end, there's about 20, and that's so many people. You know, I think everybody's name, like you, James, if you typed in James, there'd be hundreds of thousands of artists called James, and it's the same with every single name you can think of. Type it in on Spotify, and you will find at least 20 artists. That's how many people there are. So trying to be unique and trying to get your music out there is so difficult.
So is this, you've got to rely on your music though to take you there, haven't you?
Yeah.
But it's getting people to initially listen to it.
It's getting people to initially like it. And it's not that, so like I posted on Instagram this morning, you know, my new song's out, go listen. But, you know, out of the 300 people that have viewed the story, only 20 have clicked on the link. You need to somehow draw people in, because I know paid promotion and stuff like that helps. But without that these days, you can't get anywhere. It's physically impossible. So you've got to spend the money initially to get it back.
So are you going on a tour promoting this? I mean, you're going on radio stations, you're going...
That's the plan.
So 2024 scrubbed off already. You're not going to be able to do anything else.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm pretty packed up for 2024, to be honest. I've got a busy year, obviously finishing this, getting that pitched, and then my album on the side. Because, you know, even if when I send a pitch off, it'll be 6 months before you reply. So I've got the time to focus on my music.
So 2024, you're promoting your album. You won't have another album in you for a while. Will you want to then go back to acting, or will you have another album in you? I'm just trying to figure how your career is going to flow from the acting to the production to the music.
So I've gone from Joey's. We did Joey's, then Friday Night with Dean Aldridge. Then we did Joey's again, the series, and then we're now doing the beginning. In between all of those things, I have not took a break. And now I'm doing my album on the side of this as well, and all the music videos and all the promotion and all that. After my album, I'm having a break. I'm having 6 months of doing absolutely nothing, no work, nothing. I mean, I'm happy to do interviews and stuff like that, like this, because they're easy and they're nice, they're fun, and I don't mind doing them. And you meet some nice people. But I'm just going to have a break.
Thank you very much.
No, you're welcome. But I'm going to have a break after that, I think.
Okay, so let's get back into... I want to ask you about social media. So again, because we've got this duality of social media for your films, your series, for Joey's, for Red DT, and social media for songs. Do you like social media, and which is your preferred platform?
Yeah, I do. I like social media. Instagram is my fave. I love Instagram because it's easy, and even promoting stuff, it's easy to promote stuff on Instagram. You know, you can just click boost post and it's done. Whereas on Facebook and Twitter, or X as it's called now, you've got to go through a whole application process and do it all that way, and it's not easy. But I just love Instagram because it's more visual as well, and I like looking at someone's page, and because you can tell how creative someone is, I think, from the colours of their images and how they all fit together and how well they sort of, does that make sense? Like having completely different random colours. And so yeah, Instagram definitely. I do like Instagram.
Right. Do you work with a marketing agency, or is it just yourself?
No. So we have got. I've got a few contacts in promotion and advertising. So we you know, the company's got access to billboards, and and advertising platforms and buses. So that's for production, the Red TV side of stuff. But I'm going to use that for my music as well, because why not? I've got it in my pocket, so I might as well use it.
But no matter how successful your singing is going to be, you are always going to return to acting.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be like Lady Gaga. She's playing. Who's she playing, Andrew? Harley Quinn in Joker. Yeah.
You've introduced someone off screen now. Who's it off screen? Is it?
Sorry, this is Andrew. He's like my PA.
How's he doing, Andrew? Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
So, how does Samuel keep sane in this mad world?
I don't.
What do you do to relax until you don't?
No, I don't. Oh, I do. I watch a lot of telly. Yeah, I just sit there and watch a lot of telly.
Are you a nightmare to go to the cinema with? Are you constantly dissecting films?
No, I don't, because I'm like, I don't want to ruin it for anyone else. I'll sit there and I'll cringe, and to be honest, I don't really criticise other people's work. I don't, unless it's absolutely shite, but anything you go to the cinema won't be. Anything you go to the cinema for.
So you like it, and then all of a sudden there's a tipping point and you go, oh my God, this is...
Yeah, but I don't criticise other people's work, because whoever it is, no matter how bad it is, people have spent a lot of time making it and a lot of effort, and it's just their own little thing, and I would never put anyone down for trying.
What's your favourite film?
Oh, my favourite film. That's a good question.
Or do you have a favourite director, writer, anything like that?
Director Steven Spielberg is very, very good. Favourite movie? It's got to be one of the Pirates of the Caribbean. I love it. I love that. I just think for the year as well, because it's 2003, I think the first one was released. We watched it the other night, and the special effects in it are better than they are now, somehow. But it's because they did everything physically. They actually built the boats. They did it in the sea. And I just think it looks so much more better. It looks so better.
The more you can do practically, the better.
And that's what I said with Joey's, because a lot of the things, Lawrence Martin, who is the DOP, he says, we can do this green screen, save us money. I went, no. Because there's a bit where we're in South Wales, we end up in I don't. They've gone a hen party and they'll go missing. They wake up in the middle of South Wales, in the valleys, in the middle of nowhere. Lawrence said, let's do it in a studio. And I went, no, I want to do it. So we actually packed a bus and went to South Wales and did it. But it definitely gives that realism.
So how deep do you go into the productions like that? I mean, did you decide what camera platform to use and what lenses to use, and you went into that?
So me, Adam and Lawrence and Andrew, we'll all work together and decide before we film, what we want, like if we want to buy a close-up, which, and that sort of decides what lens
you storyboard as well.
Yeah, when we storyboard it.
And you think, right, that lens goes with that one. Because did you go into a process of developing your look for it?
The look for Joey's is very like The Office, if that makes sense. Very handheld and shaky, if that makes sense. But it was definitely a choice, because the beginning is completely different, as you can see from the pictures. It's very different.
Samuel, can you tell me how you got into music?
Yeah, so obviously, like I said before, when I was younger, first time I went up on stage, and that was sort of where it started. I didn't do it properly or professionally in any way, shape or form until I did a couple of covers when I was about 17, 16. So I've just left school. I didn't do it in school. I got quite bullied in school. So I didn't bother.
Is that because you're an intense person?
No, absolutely not. The exact opposite in high school I was, and I think that's why I'm like I am now. But yeah, so when I left, I did a couple of covers. I just thought, I'm not doing it while I'm there because I will get a lot of shit for it. But when I left, I did a couple of covers. I put them online and they gained quite a bit of traction. One of my videos went viral. And I just thought, wow. And then I got a couple of messages from people and blah, blah, blah. And I wrote a little song. Can't even remember what it's called now. Or was it a cover? Oh no, it was called Your Lies My Lullaby. So it was a song I wrote years ago. And I performed it on BBC One and on Children in Need live. That was terrifying. Having all these cameras around you, and the director goes, right, you're on in 3. And I thought, shit. That was the moment I got into acting, and that is the moment I thought, yeah, I want to do this for the rest of my life because I love it. So that was music and acting. That's when it both started. Having the cameras around me, I just thought, I want to be in front of these all the time.
So it didn't make you run away. You thought, oh, this is thrilling.
I could, you know what? I was stood there and everyone went silent before because the director shouted quiet on set. And then as London connected to where we were in Merseyside, everything went silent and he was going like that. And I could actually hear my own heartbeat through my chest. And the microphone was where this one is now. And I thought they're going to be able to hear my heartbeat because I could hear it. It was so loud.
So what year was this?
I think it was it says on my IMDb actually, I think it was 2018, I think.
So Samuel, I'm a headshot photographer. Do you like having your headshots taken?
I do. So when I do photo shoots and stuff for my music, I've got a massive bucket, a big black bucket, and I just fill it with clothes.
A bucket full of clothes?
It's not a bucket. What are they called then? Things? What are they called? It's like a box with a lid on, but it's
some sort of chest.
Kind of. Yeah, and I take.
We're going back to Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, no, but I take that, and I've got a pile of clothes in there, completely random stuff that I've just bought. Yeah, that's what I usually do. But I'm always clean shaven.
Okay, Samuel, could you just tell me, where do you feel your creativity and drive comes from?
Watching a lot of telly and wanting to recreate that. It started when I was a kid. Doctor Who, Sarah Jane Adventures. I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to them because I love them. But yeah, when I was a kid, I loved that, and I used to get the TARDIS play sets and all that type of stuff. And my mum and dad had a camcorder, and I used to sort of recreate it, and it was bad, but that's where it started. And I loved being able to create something. And I like showing people what I've created as well. Because, if I get a new song, I'll drive an hour down to my mum's just to show her 2.5 minute song. And I've driven an hour just because I like hearing people's opinions. I like making people happy, and I like people going, wow, that's so good. Because not like I need the compliments, but I just feel like it's nice to be able to create something that people like and want to be part of. And
Could you give me the contact details of your parents? Because I'd like to be able to get those videos.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. That is no.
I do feel as though we should have invited them now.
I do not.
So who's your doctor? Who's your favourite doctor? Which Doctor Who did you grow up with?
David Tennant. Well, Christopher Eccleston as well. David Tennant's my favourite, but Christopher Eccleston was very underrated, I feel.
Mine was Tom Baker. I'm just showing my age there.
He was good. He was a good actor, Tom Baker. I did watch some of them.
And he's still going. I follow him on Facebook, and every year he comes up and he gives everyone a Happy New Year.
Yeah.
He's great. So could you tell me something that you would do differently? Something that you can look back on in your career now, and now that you are more experienced, you would say, well, if I had that chance again, I would do it this way.
Planning. Planning in film and TV for a massive scene is so difficult. And I just wish that, because the first shoot in the beginning, there was about 90 people on set. And that was including essays and main cast and all the crew, because we had extra crew, we had safeguarding because we had children on set. The crew was just unreal. And we had to close roads and stuff. But I just wish we had a bit more planning, because it was very chaotic on the night. And I think if I had to go back, I would do that differently. I'd probably get a few more people to manage, because it was sort of me managing 90 people, because everyone has their roles, don't they? Like the camera operator and the sound, and I never usually have to manage that many people, so I didn't think I needed. I mean, I've got the assistant director, but again, he was busy with the DOP, setting up shots and going through the shot list and stuff. So I was sort of on my own, dealing with this many people, because I've got to get paperwork off them all. I've got all the legal stuff before they even get changed. I think we had 6-7 makeup artists, and prosthetics and all sorts of stuff, and it was chaos. I just wish we had more time. So
this is letting go and letting the other people do their tasks.
It's not even that. It's just managing that. So it wasn't necessarily me letting go, but it was managing the actual. I just, because it was just me doing everything. So like getting people from that seat to costume to makeup, and then to set. That was just, it needs to be more structured, I think. It needed to be more of a, right, someone else needed to manage that rather than, there was a few people giving us a hand, but, I wish we had more people.
So this is like the PAs with the call sheets and that, and then getting people on in time. And
yeah, it was, it took a lot longer than I thought, and we had less time, and it was -5 degrees that night, and it was freezing cold, and it was an outdoor shoot. So it was hard going.
So how did you learn all that? How did you learn the production side? Because if you're an actor and you're concentrating on being the character, and then you suddenly become a producer, how did you get to grips with all that?
Because as an actor, you've got a lot of downtime. So a lot of people, like, they go to their trailers and they just learn the script and stuff like that. But in between, when I was, say if I was on the Netflix show or something like that, you know, we could go back and have a cuppa and a coffee. But I'd always say, do you mind if I stay on set? Because I just want to see from the other side of the lens, see how things work. So I did, and they let me, and yeah, just sort of learned like that.
So a bit like the Children in Need, where you thought, oh God, I'm staying here. You picked up more and you thought, right, I'm going to add this to being a production producer,
Yeah, and I watch a lot of YouTube tutorials. I watch a lot of behind the scenes, like Doctor Who. What's it called? Confidential. It's not called anymore. Doctor Who Confidential, where they do all the behind the scenes stuff. I love watching all them, and David Attenborough behind the lens and all that, when he goes out and filming in the middle of nowhere and all that. That'd stress me out because I think, shit, have we got enough batteries? That's what I think of. Batteries are my biggest issue, I think, at the minute.
I mean, we joked before about you going on tour, we're doing the behind the scenes of your tour. Does that always come into the equation? Right, we're doing this production, we've got to have a behind the scenes, we've got to make a blooper reel, and all those considered?
Yeah, so Joey's, we didn't have a behind the scenes, but we did have a blooper reel. For the beginning, we have got both. We have actually got a behind the scenes team for the beginning. So we have a full team, I think there's 5 of them, doing behind the scenes photos, videos, interviews. So we have got the full shebang on that. But in Joey's, we didn't necessarily do that as much because I didn't want, because the way the story goes, I didn't want to spoil anything by people watching the behind the scenes, because there'd be a lot of more clips of behind the scenes on Facebook and YouTube, and I didn't want to ruin anything, because all the big scenes that we would need behind the scenes on, because all the rest of it's filmed in the house. So all the big scenes, that's when we would have needed the behind the scenes if we wanted to do it. But it'd ruin the story, so there's no point doing it.
Ruin the story, or do you feel as though it takes away some of the magic?
And that, yeah, it does definitely take away some of the magic, because I want it to feel like, not a home video, but I want it to feel like you could have been there, if that makes sense.
So bloopers, what would we see on the blooper reel? Bloopers are great. I like bloopers.
They are really funny. I mean, you can put them on this as well if you want to. Just type in Joey's outtakes and you'll probably find them. But yeah,
I will. I'll have to remember that one.
Yeah, they're quite funny.
Previously, you mentioned Doctor Who. Would you like to play Doctor Who?
I would love to play the Doctor. That would probably be one of my favourite roles.
What would be your gimmick? Because, like I mentioned before, Tom Baker had his scarf. What would be Samuel's Doctor Who?
Bright coloured clothes, I think. But I think Shooty's doing that at the minute with his Doctor. So I don't know, I'd have to find something else.
Is there a character in a film that you'd like to play? You know, not just be it a hitman, police officer, a pilot. Is there some sort of major character you'd like to play?
I think it'd be interesting if I played a hitman. Because, look at me. You'd never think, would you, that I would? I think that would be quite an interesting story to have someone like me that goes under the radar, and you'd never think. You think, nah, no way, and I am. Do you know what I mean? I think that would be quite interesting, because it's always the best storylines are the most unexpected storylines, you know. And I just think, you know, that would be quite an interesting story if it was someone like me.
A 6-foot redhead creeping up behind someone.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds creepy. That sounds creepy now.
So we're coming to the end of the podcast now, and I ask all the guests this: who would you, if you had a magic wand, who would you like to hear on the next podcast?
Oh, Johnny Depp, Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, Johnny Depp.
So go on. There's quite a few films there. Which one of them did you prefer, or did you just like all of them?
I love them all.
Right.
He's very talented, and he can play anyone, can he? Because Captain Jack and Willy Wonka are 2 completely different things. They don't even look alike. Do you know what I mean? And he can slip into any character and make it his own. And that, for me, is a great actor.
So you would like to work with him as well?
Yeah. He would be amazing to work with. There's a lot of people I'd want to work with. There is a lot of people I'd like to work with.
So if I don't manage to get Johnny Depp, anyone else?
Let me think. Angela Bassett. So she's she's one of my favourite actresses in TV. I know she's done some films as well, but she's just brilliant. I love her. I think she's really, really talented. And again, she plays a lot of roles, and she's sort of like a strong female figure that a lot of people think, yeah, go on, girl. Do you know what I mean? That type of person, you think, because the roles she plays are always like high profile, you know, very, very empowering roles.
Okay, Samuel, that was great. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
No, thank you.
And I hope everything goes well with your album and the future productions. So
thank you so much.
Thank you, Samuel, for coming.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you for watching and listening to the Entertainment Video Podcast. You can help support this video podcast by making a donation at Buy Me a Coffee, which is www.buymeacoffee.com/James Video Podcast. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and let me know who you would like to see on a future entertainment video podcast.